We can't even have you here and not talk about the rent issue in Lagos.
Mm.
D1
Yeah.
and I were literally speaking about this before you came in, about how to get a good apartment, a mini flat in Bagada in an estate would cost you nothing less than 2.5 million naira.
Yeah.
And we have already established on this show today that we provide our electricity for ourselves, we provide our water for ourselves, provide basic things that the government is supposed to give us for ourselves, yet they're expecting us who are earning less than 500k, which the money we're earning today, the quality of that money is not the same thing it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the government still expects us to cough out 2.5 million naira, 3 million naira, 5 million naira just to get a 2-bed apartment or a mini flat apartment. What are the plans that you have in place to combat issues like this when you come into power?
So the rent issue is a very important one. It's also the housing issue. So there are two things. One, you want to manage the housing stock you currently have, so that people have more accessibility to it. The conversation about monthly payments, if you can show that you actually earn a salary, a fund that can be put in place so that you can pay monthly, and guarantees are given by an association or an institution in the government to allow for that to happen. Because for some people, it's not so much that it's 2.5 million, it's that you have to pay it all at once. Outside the country, you're paying rent every month. As you're earning, you're paying. Right? So also to bring that time value back to your money.
Sorry to cut you with this whole paying monthly thing. We live in Lagos.
I don't agree with it.
Thank you, because
Okay.
I don't.
we live in Lagos where your landlord can wake up one morning and maybe because his child is about to go abroad to study, he remembers that, he has 10 tenants in this apartment, and if he does the calculation, people's money can fund his child's whatever. And in your rent might be due in 2 months. This one is not DMC. I've seen it happen so many times. Your rent is due in 2 months, and then the landlord is coming with a bill
increasing
saying that
your rent.
it's almost 100% increase. So if we do this monthly thing, what is going to be put in place to make sure that they don't wake up one morning and decide to increase the rent
Yes, 100%.
after 3 months?
So what I'm trying to describe is a holistic plan. It's not just one thing. It's the same thing you're talking about. There has to be a understanding, a document, a policy that says that a certain percentage of rent cannot be increased after a certain amount of time or until a certain amount of time. And these are things that stakeholders need to come together and all agree to, right? You also want to now look at increasing the housing stock, right? Affordable housing, real affordable housing. And then also increasing that housing stock with the prototype for young people.
Yeah.
Our population is over 60% youth population.
Yeah.
There's no reason why a young man that just left finishing NYSC needs a 2-bedroom apartment. I know that we are used to living in large spaces, but let's look at typologies in Japan, for instance. You have a space where you can sleep, you work, right? And you have easy access to where you work, and that's all you need, right?
It's
Sometimes,
more than this, so.
no, I know, but this, I'm trying to bring out other ideas in all of this, because you want to increase your housing stock, create affordable housing that's accessible to people through lotteries, right? So it's not a situation where it's who knows who that gets it. Like, look at what Alhaji Lateef Jakonde was able to achieve.
True.
He built a lot of housing that actually got people that needed it. But I'm also looking at what we currently have and maximizing on that. If we have a situation where people can pay monthly and landlords cannot increase their rent for at least 2-3 years after they've signed a contract with this person, I think that is a plus.
Yes, it's a plus.
I think it's a plus.
However,
I think
I
this,
like that you're on
there-
the
there's
however
no,
with
there's no, this is not going to be one silver bullet that's going to solve all these problems. This is going to be a series of things that are brought into the system. 2 weeks ago, I was at a symposium about how we can convert all the abandoned properties in Lagos State to affordable housing. The properties that also belong to government that have been left for 15 years.
wow.
Look at the secretariat in Ikoyi. That can house over. There's some proposals in that symposium that created about 400 to 500 units in that place.
Wow.
Right? Why not? These are things that we can also look at because the structures are already there.
True.
You want to try and spend minimum amount as you can, but to create affordable living units for people in a beautiful, creative way. And there are so many of these properties that can be looked at in Lagos State. So it's about increasing the housing stock not tying it to a huge amount of funds.
Yeah.
What are the low hanging fruits that you can do? And so those are some of the things. Another thing that must be done is a regulation of all the charges that are associated with rent.
That's
Right?
it.
It's
That's
extremely important, because you have somebody that wants to rent a 1-bedroom in Amoodofin, and the room or the space comes to about 600,000.
Yeah.
And then the charges, legal, all this, it comes to 400,000. That is madness.
That aside, some of these landlords expect you to now pay a service charge of about 100 or 150,000 naira in addition to that 600,000 every year. Doesn't it happen with you?
My dear, funny enough, my rent, I start at Bagada. Where I moved in, my rent is 1.3. Service charge was 100. My rent is supposed to be due by January. December, there's a meeting that we're increasing service charge.
So the
Service charge now.
Okay,
Yes.
service charge. Because
Imagine.
I know
And the reason why they increased the service charge was because the developer said he's trying to ensure he understands what is happening, and he's trying to ensure that they don't increase rent, because the actual people who lease their houses want to increase the rents.
yes, but there's also a time. There's a 6 months legal notice you must give
Yeah.
to people before you can even have the conversation by increasing rent. You must 6 months, you must let the person know. But even if that doesn't really, that's courtesy and allows you to plan, but it doesn't really touch the problem, which is they're increasing rent, and how am I going to afford to be able to do it? So again, it goes back to the idea that landlords cannot just increase rents haphazardly or willy-nilly. It must be, like I just said, 6 months, you must give notice.
Yeah.
But also there must be a process by which, once this has been signed. Now, when we talk about these other charges, what's the
Service charge.
Service charge.
And the service charge is not as if you're living in a service apartment. Service charge
So
is
they're not providing
Loma.
They're not
If
providing.
if there's no
fill the
lights,
generator.
you're turning your generator on yourself.
Okay, so now
Just Loma and security bill.
Loma has increased their charges.
Yes, I know.
Loma has increased their charges. I'm sure most employers of labor would say that they've also increased the salaries that they pay people.
But
Thank God you said most. Let's
Most.
say
But
most.
the
Most
thing is,
people
even
should.
if they
Most.
increase your salary now by 100%, your lifestyle is still not improving.
Yes, I
Like,
agree.
you're still basically having to manage.
I
The truth
agree.
is, if you're earning 500k living in Lagos, you are not living good.
You are
Yes.
not
You realize that
Outside
if you earn 6 million naira in Nigeria, you're part of the 1%.
6 million per month,
No,
No,
per
per
year.
per year.
Yes.
Part
Part
of
of
the
the
1%.
1%.
Part of the 1%.
6 million. Let's do the calculation. How much
That's
are you
why-
earning
That's
monthly?
it, 500,000 a
500.
month times 12 is 6 million.
So
Yeah.
you're
You're
saying
part of the 1% in Nigeria.
it's only 1%
that means I'm
earning
part
that
of-
much.
Yeah.
Say it, then you're part of the 1%.
No, I've always been part of the 1%. I was
You
going
should do. No,
I'm sorry.
just research what I'm saying.
I will.
Fair.
I absolutely
Go and
will.
look the percentage of people that earn over
Five.
1 million in a year.
Yeah.
Go and look at the percent. That's why I say Nigeria is poor.
We're suffering.
We're poor.
Yeah.